You know how I describe the economic and social classes in this country? The upper class keeps all of the money, pays none of the taxes. The middle class pays all of the taxes, does all of the work. The poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class.
A third of the world's population go to bed hungry every night. It's not pleasant going to bed hungry. It's not pleasant watching your children starve. It's a really unpleasant way to die, starving to death. And yet it happens. And yet, we as humanity have let this go on and on and on and on and on.
Today, half the world's wealth is in the hands of the richest 2% of the population.
Take money out of politics. Problem solved.
And I don't think it's fair if the government takes it away from them.
Yeah, I don't know what the answers are, buddy. The class gap's getting wider and wider. Capitalism hasn't been kind to a lot of people.
Every problem that we face on this planet at the moment is because of the actions of those that believe themselves to be an individual, as opposed to the fact, or the truth, that they're actually part of a whole.
Current rate of deforestation will have totally disappeared within 10 years. Fishing catches have increased fivefold from 18 to 100 million metric tons per year. Thousands of factory ships are emptying the oceans. Our agriculture has become oil-powered. Before the end of this century, excessive mining will have exhausted nearly all the planet's reserves.
And what I believe is that by people coming together like this, first of all, we're raising awareness. We're changing the idea. We're talking. We're bringing things that are out of sight up to public eyes, and people can talk about it. Once that happens, is that people come together. Different groups have different opinions, but they all serve the same purpose: to create a better world.
People need to realise that these very, very powerful people, this family, what they've done is they make the money for free. This is the status quo. They make the money for free, then they get nations and governments in debts, and they do it with the government, right? So it's all organised. So what I'm saying is, for the government to be in cahoots with these very, very powerful money makers indicates to me that our governments are actually corrupt. Even in New Zealand, which is probably one of the most honest governments in the world, but there is a level of corruption through there. And I'm certainly not saying that every politician is corrupt. I'm just saying that some of them do know what's going on, but they're not telling us. And even if they do say something to the media won't publish it, because it goes against everything that see this here, this symbol.
The government taking back in-house the power of the issuance of our currency, and rather than borrowing from the banks first and then lending it into circulation, spending it directly into circulation to pay for the workers, to unlock our own natural resources, to pay for our public infrastructure and our public services that can be supplied at the cheapest possible cost to the nation. Before the alternative can be put in place in what I'd call a peaceful transition, you need to have enough people with sufficient enough knowledge of the alternatives, so that when they find out that they're currently living in a fraud, they're not going to react violently, because you need to have the alternative at hand.
We're on.
So you're here to hear it. Are you ready to bear it? Now the Spirit's here, know that we'll be there to clear it. We have stood for years, no eons scrapping with the beast. But in the end, it's just another war for peace. But peace is what we need at least. Geez, I'm sick of saying these elite keep on playing a haze of manipulation with no hesitation. The time is not for waiting, gotta stand up. The change is gone, lose that makeup. And how long before the people wake up? It seems to me that the sheep don't delay much. All we need's their attention, and we're paid in trust.